In a gripping legal drama unfolding before the nation's highest court, the Supreme Court grapples with a pivotal decision that could determine the fate of former President Donald Trump's political future. Tensions run high as justices from across the ideological spectrum gather to debate whether Trump should remain on the Colorado ballot, setting the stage for a high-stakes showdown with profound implications for American democracy. Against the backdrop of a deeply divided nation, the justices voice their concerns about the unprecedented challenge facing them. Can a single state wield the power to disqualify a leading presidential candidate? As the courtroom drama unfolds, viewers are drawn into a riveting exchange of legal arguments where interpretations of constitutional provisions collide and the very foundations of democracy are at stake. With the fate of the nation hanging in the balance, the Supreme Court must navigate treacherous legal waters, confronting thorny questions of presidential eligibility and the limits of state authority. As the drama unfolds, viewers are left on the edge of their seats, wondering, will Trump emerge victorious, or will the court deliver a game-changing verdict with far-reaching consequences? Amidst intense media scrutiny and mounting public pressure, the justices find themselves at the center of a political firestorm, with the eyes of the nation fixed upon them. In a battle for the ages, the Supreme Court must rise to the occasion, grappling with the weighty responsibility of shaping the course of American history. As the courtroom drama reaches its climax, viewers are left breathless, wondering which way the scales of justice will tip. With the future of American democracy hanging in the balance, the Supreme Court's decision promises to shape the course of history for generations to come. Now let's hear from average Americans. These are some comments from the Washington Post.
Clarence Thomas brought shame upon himself and upon the Supreme Court today by participating in this hearing. His wife was an active participant in the insurrection, and it is unconscionable that he did not recuse himself. I guess, however, this is not a surprise considering how corrupt he has proven himself to be.
By allowing the rapist's attorney to label January 6th as a riot, they dodged all of the facts proving that it was a carefully planned insurrection intended to reverse a free and fair election.
Tell me one riot in which participants wore pre-printed T-shirts and brought a gallows, hanging ropes, zip ties, and pipe bombs. What a horrible, poor presentation today. The lawyers failed us.
Semantics aside, it's clear that Trump should be disqualified, and it's interesting that SCOTUS lacks the backbone to make a call that is so clear. This court makes the rule of law appear to be completely malleable, that is, to prevent chaos, we should do the wrong thing for single individuals. For Roe v. Wade, they hearkened back to the decision from a 17th century witch trial judge. Yet SCOTUS has trouble reading Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which only dates to the late 19th century. This shouldn't be about states' rights. This should be about SCOTUS stepping up and invoking the U.S. Constitution. Corrupt court indeed.
Justices were so nitpicky, it's shameful. Once again, we see how the law lets Trump slide and not pay for his crimes. People have let him get away with whatever he wants all his life. Disgusting.
America is awash in guns, ignorance, and injustice. The only way we will save democracy is to destroy the Republican Party.
I'm not too worried about him or his drooling troglodyte followers trying another coup. He's not in charge of anything this time. Actual Americans are. And things won't go well for them if they act up. And he's going to lose. He's done nothing to gain a single vote from the last time and plenty to lose votes, including killing his supporters with his inept handling of the COVID crisis.
None of which means we can be complacent, though. Everyone who cares about this country needs to go vote blue.
In summary, Trump clearly committed insurrection. The 14th Amendment disqualifies any government officer who commits insurrection from holding office. Each state is responsible for determining the eligibility of candidates to run in presidential election in their state. The court in Colorado determined Trump's is ineligible. The Supreme Court is going to rule that none of that matters because something.
When Hitler attempted a coup in 1923, Germany threw him in prison. When Trump attempted the same, America gave him millions of dollars and worshipped him as a god. Well, a large minority did. Since the SC is illegitimate, does it really matter what they think? The drawback with a constitution is that it cannot anticipate future perils. Hence, America is stumbling, half-drunk yet fully awake, into darkness, and a large minority of its citizens are just too stupid to understand what is actually happening.
Trump controlled and used the military by not allowing them to become involved in protecting the country against his insurrection.
That this conservative court would decide in favor of Trump seemed likely. But what was shocking was the speed with which they revealed their hand. It seems they spent little time considering the implications of a lawless president and the damage they could do to the fabric of our society and democracy. Once again, the Supremes are the kingmakers, as with the Gore and Bush debacle. How can you claim to believe in the U.S. Constitution and then fail to enforce it? Does any sane person doubt that January 6th was orchestrated by Trump and his MAGA mob? We witnessed it with our eyes. I don't see any escaping the truth that Trump engaged in an insurrection and should be barred from office per the U.S. Constitution. One's inability to see the truth does not make the lie true.
It seems odd that the justices who rely so much on the meaning of words in the Constitution now seem adverse to the plain sense most of us understand when we read these now famous words. We are powerless if the Supreme Court thinks Trump was not responsible for that 3 hours of mayhem when Trump supporters tried to stop the vote counting by laying siege to our precious capital. And where will this nation be if the justices let Trump take office? Even if they pretend it's not an office, which galls me.
It's amazing that a court which wants the very last word on abortion, water pollution, transportation regulation enforcement, to say nothing about ethics or conflict of interest, now pretends that it couldn't possibly, oh no, dearie me, absolutely not, in no way, shape or form, dare express any opinion about a constitutional clause forbidding insurrectionists to enjoy elected authority, about one specific insurrection that threatened the vice president and the speaker's very lives, that took several other law enforcement lives, that has already resulted in hundreds of convictions by those taking part in. Think about the rights of the voters, they say. Damn right, I am indeed. All 81 million of us. Took the thoughts right out of my head, the words right out of my mouth.
Throughout history, it has been the inaction of those who could have acted, the indifference of those who should have known better, the silence of the voice of justice when it mattered most. That has made it possible for evil to triumph. Haile Selassie. Congratulations, Supreme Court. You have joined the long, infamous list of people who could have done something but didn't. You are the people who history truly holds in utter contempt.
And there you have it. This is what Americans think of the Supreme Court of the United States in February 2024. Have a great day and tune in to radioai.ca for more great podcasts.